Hello there, good evening. CNN-IBN's Indian of the Year Awards are back, and this is for the year 2013. As we are nearing the end of the year, we are building up to decide who will be CNN-IBN's Indian of the Year 2013. And tonight, these are the nominees in the category of sports.
Beautiful shot.
It's been an exciting year for Indian sports. A new generation, fearless and hungry, has stepped up. But the old guard too continues to defy the odds. To pick one among them will be an onerous task.
And the legacy of Leander Pace.
It's hard to believe that that wonderful journey is coming to an end.
In a year where Sachin Tendulkar retired, the exploits of one man have assured fans the future is secure.
That is another fine shot.
Virat Kohli has been Indian cricket's Mr. Consistent.
Oh, what a shot!
More than 1,500 runs in international cricket, Kohli was key to India's spectacular run this year.
Where does this man produce these?
For the last decade, Sushil Kumar and Yogeshwar Dutt have been Indian wrestling. In their absence, a young 19-year-old in his first World Championship gave India hope. Amit Kumar marched into the final of the 55 kg freestyle before settling for silver. And like Amit, another young talent battled her way into history books this year. All of 18, PV Sindhu continued Indian badminton's rich run of late, winning a bronze at the 2013 World Championships. But it wasn't just about Generation Next. Leander Pace continued to defy age as he battled on in world tennis. Not only did he join a select band of players to appear in 50 Davis Cup ties, Pace became the only man to win a Grand Slam post his 40th birthday, after winning the US Open with Radek Stepanek. Even as Pace continues to raise the bar, Aditya Mehta finally broke through in a sport where no Indian had managed a foothold. Mehta became the first Indian to reach the final of a professional snooker event, finishing runners-up at the Indian Open. Our final nominee kept the flag flying for Indian shooting in 2013. Hina Sidhu justified her billing as a medal prospect for Rio 2016 by becoming the first pistol shooter from India to win gold at the elite ISSF World Cup final.
Yes, it's wonderful because it gets harder and harder every year to pick the Indian of the Year in sport, and it's a reflection of the quality that Indian sport is throwing up. A quality panel joining me as well to look at it. Geet Sethi, he's won the World Billiard Championships more often than I can remember. But a disclaimer, Geet is also a member of the jury, but today talks to us quite simply as an observer and a lover of sport. Thank you very much, Geet, for coming in. Novi Kapadia, we like calling him the voice of Indian sport. He's followed Indian sport for longer than any of us can remember. Also, Viren Raskina, former Indian hockey captain, but wears a new hat. And, well, a hat he's been wearing for a while now, the CEO of the Olympic Gold Quest. Might as well start with Viren Raskina then. You look every year at the nominees that get thrown up, and I could come up with 6 more besides this. It just shows that there is a depth emerging in Indian sport, and these young sportsmen and women are making this country very proud.
Absolutely, Gaurav. I think I couldn't agree with your opening line where you said it's getting harder and harder every year to select the Indian of the Year in the sports category, and you know, I look at the list of nominees, and I think that each one's achievements are really at the highest level of world sport. and I think it's going to be a really tough choice for Geet and the rest of the panel to actually go out there and make a decision.
Well, we'll make you make that decision as well. But let's actually start talking about the nominees. And Geet, what we're going to do is, in India there is this talk of obsession about cricket. So we might as well get that out of the way first. This boy, for whatever it's worth, in this 25 years old, has already, Virat Kohli, broken a stream of records. And my sense is, having covered this story quite closely, is that he's got an ambition not just for the immediate future, but he's starting to eye a place in history.
Virat Kohli is special. There's no doubt about it. His demeanor, his achievement, his performances have been exemplary actually. And I think 5,000 runs in the one-day format, eclipsing Vivian Richard, I believe.
Yes.
That's something special. It surely is special. So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic performance, fantastic achievement, and a worthy, probable and contender for the award.
In fact, there were several other cricketers putting their hand up this time. Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, guys emerging, players like that. But in this country, a lot of people know about cricket. So let's actually talk about some of the guys who get slip under the radar a little bit. I want to bring Viren in on Amit Kumar in particular. Here is this wonderful 19-year-old story, a family of, I believe his family are in the cattle grazing business, not very well off. Comes off winning a medal at the World Championships, a feat only achieved before him by Sushil Kumar, Viren.
Yeah, definitely. I think Amit Kumar's story is extremely inspirational. He comes from a family where all they had was 4 buffaloes, and I really read a heartwarming story of him saying that all they had was milk from the buffaloes and the butter, and instead of selling it and making money, they actually gave it to Amit to ensure that he had good nutrition to become a wrestler. And from that sort of background to go and win a silver medal at the World Championship, only the second Indian after the great Sushil Kumar to do that. It's been a great year for Amit Kumar, and Sushil himself says that at the 2016 Rio Olympics, Amit Kumar is the best bet for a medal for India in wrestling.
In fact, Novi, Amit Kumar wasn't even meant to be at the 2012 London Olympic Games, where he beat a wrestler who was much more qualified than him. In fact, at the World Championship, he lost to the same wrestler in the final. This is the story of a sport that is now spawning a generation of quality performers after Sushil and Yogeshwar.
Certainly, and you see, it's right, when historically KD Jadhav got us the first medal in the 52 Olympics, yes. Then there was this big gap. Now Amit, I think, is very creditable, because in the final with the Iranian wrestler, he was going neck to neck.
Yes.
It was a very close decision. I mean, some of the people feel that, because of the Iranians' reputation, he managed to get that extra point. He should have been cautioned for being passive. So Amit's is a phenomenal performance, because he's grown in stature within 1 year, from just being a hopeful in the Olympics to now being a practically certain medal contender. And what Viren said is absolutely right. I think he's one of our best hopes for a medal in 2016 Olympics in Brazil.
Another hope for the Olympics in 2016, but already having achieved what we didn't think possible in this generation was PV Sindhu. Prakash Padukone, the great Indian badminton player, was the last one to win a medal at the World Championships. So this is a genuine world sport. For an 18-year-old kid to go out there and beat some of China's top players to come back with this medal was a staggering feat, Geet.
Absolutely. And when you talk of women's badminton, you do mention Saina Nehwal today, and I think she's caught the imagination of the Indian public. But what Sindhu has done, and she's living in an era of Saina Nehwal, she has kind of not eclipsed her performance, but she's become a pathbreaker in a sort, that she's won a world championship medal.
Yes.
So a pathbreaker to me is someone special. She's showing the way for the women who have to follow her something which has never been done.
And,
Great, absolutely great.
It's a point Geet makes, Viren, which is important to reflect on. You can have one-off performance, but this is a kid who's showing us that even in the tournament, maybe she hasn't won a Super Series tournament yet, but she's won in Malaysia, she's won in Macau, she's justified her higher seeding in these tournaments and come through these pressure events to show that here is a player who's going to be a worthy contender on the world stage.
Gaurav, I've had the privilege of working very closely with Sindhu since the age of 15 years. OGQ has been supporting her since she was 15 years old, and there was never a doubt about her talent.
Yes.
To be really honest, what I doubted was whether she had the character and the steel to match up with the best players in the world. And this year has really shown her. She has showed her character. After the World Championship, which was a brilliant performance where she beat two former world #1 Chinese players, she had a bit of a lull period where she had a poor Europe tour where she lost early in most of the tournaments. But she has come back, she took a break, she worked on the technical aspects of the game, she worked on her fitness, on her mental strength, and she has come back and won the gold at the Macau Open in a Golden Grand Prix, which is just one level below a Super Series.
Yes.
So almost all the top players in the world are playing. Fabulous performance, and that shows her character, and she's here for the long run.
We are going to take a break, but Novi, in 10 seconds, if you had to describe, it was very important for someone to follow in the footsteps of Saina Nehwal. So you didn't think there was this wonderful Indian player who emerged, who was waging a lonely battle against all these all these quality players overseas.
Historically, India's generally, especially in individual sports, there's been one Geet Sethi, Wilson Jones, Michael Ferreira. So it's good for badminton that in a short span, and Sindhu, who's probably more athletic than Saina Nehwal,
yes,
and maybe could go a long way. So it's healthy for badminton as a sport.
Well, Saina will tell you that she beat her twice in the Indian Badminton League. We'll take a break at this point, but that kind of competition we do enjoy within Indian players. We'll take a break at this point. We've got 3 more contenders to look at when we come back. Welcome back. Those were our nominees for Indian of the Year in the category of sports, joined today by Geet Sethi, former world billiards champion many times over, Novi Kapadia, we like to call him the voice of Indian sport, and former India hockey captain and the CEO of Olympic Gold Quest, Virendra Skina. I want to talk about a 40-year-old now, because you have no business, Geet. Sorry, Novi, at the, I know this 40-year-old thing gets to all of us, but you have no business winning Grand Slam tournaments at the age of 40. Leander Paes has to be the most incredible story in sport.
Yes, he's outlasted Sachin Tendulkar.
Yes.
You know, he started the same time in a much more demanding sport. You know, I mean, with all excuses to the cricketers, he's travelled all over the year, he's partnered different people, and you know, he's now become practically an all-time great doubles player. And to win at 40 is absolutely amazing. He's kept his fitness levels, so I think he's been clever. At a certain age, he realized singles he couldn't go on, so he's moved over to doubles.
Yes.
But sheer consistency, determination, and not letting the fact he doesn't have a powerful service, he's he's not extremely 6'2", powerfully built. He's not complained about this. He's used his assets, speed and physical fitness and guile.
And Viren, the staggering thing about the Leander Paes story is it's showing no signs of being over. He could be playing a 7th Olympic Games. I mean, shame on you really to be CEO of OGQ. You should be playing hockey for India.
I think what CNN-IBN should be doing is put a spy cam in Leander's house to see what he's eating for breakfast, because I want to eat the same thing if I need to be getting back to the hockey field. But yeah, he's just been an amazing role model for the way he looks after himself, yes, for his performances, but also, as Novi said, in a physically demanding sport like tennis, to still be growing strong at the age of 40. He's the only Indian to have played 6 Olympics.
Yes.
And the only person in tennis to have played 6 Olympics. That's absolutely unbelievable, and I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be going to his 7th Olympics, and he will be a medal contender at Rio as well.
All right, I hope he finds some partners, because the last time that was a problem. However, Geet, I want to talk to you about Aditya Mehta, because I guess when you look at all 6 of these contenders, here's a boy whose story doesn't get talked about too often. Yet, some of the things he's achieved this year have been very special.
Yeah, in India we know a lot about billiards, and it's because of the legacy started by Wilson Jones and then Michael Ferreira and myself and Pankaj Advani. And I get asked this question very often, that why are we not producing snooker world champions at the professional level? And my answer always is that we don't have the first. We don't have the role model, we don't have the path breaker in snooker who defied all odds and actually won or reached the final of a professional ranking event. It's
Explain that a bit, Geet, because why was reaching the final here in Delhi at that event such an important occasion for snooker in India?
See, we've had 2 world amateur snooker champions. One was Obi Agrawal in 1984, and then later Pankaj Advani, who at the age of 17 years and 11 months in some days won the the World Amateur Snooker Championship. But that's the Amateur Snooker Championship.
Yes.
There's a marked difference between the amateurs and the professionals, and only if you win a World Amateur Snooker Championship or an Asian Snooker Championship or some European Snooker Championship that do you get even a chance to enter the professional circuit now. It's intensely competitive. People don't know that in India.
And in comparison, let's try and make a comparison to a world sport that people follow much more in India. Would you say the professional snooker circuit is just as tough as the professional tennis circuit?
Absolutely. It's a good comparison. It's played in over 50 countries now. The prize money is big, almost as big as that in tennis. The number of players who've reached a level of expertise at the highest level, the differentiating factor is like 1920. There's hardly any difference.
So for validation for a Q Sport enthusiast or a Q Sport professional from Geet Sethi, Aditya Mehta, that probably is as good as the Indian of the Year for him as far as I'm concerned. However, we've got one more contender to talk about. Tell us a little bit about Hina Sidhu, because that again is a sport that gets its headlines, Viren, doesn't it, from Olympics to Olympics. But here is a kid who's now actually winning, and in an elite field in a tournament she wasn't even meant to participate in.
Yes, Gaurav, I think if you look at Hina's consistency over the last year, every international competition that she has shot in, she has scored a 380 plus, which is an extremely high level of consistency. If you look at the last few Olympics, World Cups, World Championship, a 382 will get you into the final. Yes. That's a very tough score to maintain, and Hina has maintained it consistently this year, and I'm not surprised that she won the gold medal at the World Cup finals. Fabulous achievement. Only the 3rd Indian shooter after Gagan Narang and Anjali Bhagwat to have achieved this tremendous medal at the World Cup final. So
neither has Rajyavardhan Rathore Novi nor Abhinav Bindra, some of India's greatest shooters, achieved what she did. It's a bit like the World Tour finals in tennis, where only the top 8 players of the world make it to this grade. So staggering feat again by this girl.
Yes, amazing feat, and also if she can maintain this form for the Olympics, because we've not yet had a woman shooter get a medal in the Olympics.
Yes.
So Hina Sidhu, now there'll be that pressure. She's been around for some time and has finally seems to have peaked both mentally and physically.
And Anjali Bhagwat was a winner in rifle shooting. This is pistol shooting, which is a completely different skill set that's needed. Completely out of time, unfortunately. We needed to have 6 more nominees to keep going on this, but before I let everyone go, let's just actually make picks, and this is the best bit of this. It's a lot of fun. Viren Raskina, Indian of the Year sport, you get to pick one.
Slight conflict of interest for me, because OGQ supports PV Sindhu, but
we live with conflicts of interest all the time.
I'll still go with PV Sindhu, because as I said, this young girl has got character, and she's someone who amazes me. She enjoys her badminton like Mary Kom enjoys her boxing.
Novi.
Okay, quick anecdote. Leander Paes had said because his father won a bronze medal in Olympics, he wanted to go one better.
Yes.
He's just got a bronze, like the father got in 72 with the hockey team. So he's still trying to get another medal. Yeah. And to overcome sickness and still play, I think I'd give him the Indian of the year. The oldest as compared to Viren's giving the youngest.
Is Mr. Geet Sethi going to pick one?
As a jury member, I'm going to pass.
Okay, each of them is a winner as far as we are concerned, but that's a diplomatic choice. It's a wonderful debate to have among yourselves. Did we miss out a nominee? Perhaps we did, but that in itself is a credit to Indian sport and its success of late. Thank you very much to Geet Sethi for coming in and talking to us, Novi Kapadia as well as Viren Raskina. Thanks for joining us. The Indian of the Year build-up continues all this week on CNN-IBN.